I bet on a sunny morning, like these would just glow. Now, we drove through here with the kids. This is where we drove through with the kids when they were doing the construction and it was horribly hot and the kids had to pee. So it's finally like, well, people in traffic are just going to have to watch our kid pee. Because there wasn't anything we could do about it. We're stuck. This is a much better drive.
Well, I have to say, if it rained last night, did it rain a lot? Hard?
No. Rained a couple times.
The good thing we had that wind to dry the tent off.
Yeah, the tent was dry.
Way to look at the bright side, babe. The wind was horrible all night, which is why we started our drive through the Badlands at 5 a.m. Hey, no traffic, another positive. The beauty of this place really is something to see in person if you ever get the chance. Thanks again for joining us on our journey as we drive from Indiana to Seattle. Today we're starting in the Badlands. We'll drive through Custer State Park, visit Mount Rushmore, continue on through the Black Hills National Forest, and then up to Devil's Tower. A few people have asked what we talk about while doing all this driving, so in this one I'm going to add in more of that. Be warned, it will inevitably include some colorful language, I'm sure.
Too far. Get back.
Oh, what is it? Deer? Oh, yeah. Just drive slowly.
You don't see me. You don't see me.
Be very, very quiet.
It'd be funny to just roll right past them.
So what? Those aren't deer. What are they?
Hit that button. Oh, hi there. Almost right up against the truck.
Was it?
We think these were actually pronghorn, but let us know if we're wrong.
No people. Oh, I do see a flashing light way out there. And I saw another flashing light over here somewhere. Oh, I see some moving cars way over there. Or a moving car. Truck.
Yeah.
I'll put my makeup on while we're sitting here. looking a little rough this morning. They're like, yep, we're buffalo.
We left the park through the Pinnacles entrance, where we spotted these buffalo just hanging out, and headed up to Wall for some coffee. We'd love to come back and drive the western part of the park, which is much less traveled. We also discovered some dispersed camping areas on this trip, so now we have a better idea where we could stop for the night on our next trip. We thought we might stop at the famous Wall Drug, even though we've been there before, but it was still too early in the morning and almost nothing was open. We found this great little drive-through coffee hut though. I love the sentiment here, but the English teacher in me is really annoyed. We discovered that these coffee huts are pretty common out here. We saw more and more of them the further west we went. So now, fully caffeinated, we headed back out and found a back road to take us into Custer State Park. Custer State Park is a huge park with lots of areas for camping, fishing, and wildlife viewing. We were just going through a short little corner of it though. We started on the Wildlife Loop Road and then jumped over to Iron Mountain Road, which takes you up to Mount Rushmore and through several tunnels. This is Iron Mountain Road. It has lots of twists and turns and even a few corkscrews. Besides lots of twists and turns, Iron Mountain Road has several tunnels as well. This one is the Cece Gideon Tunnel, named for Cecil, Cece Gideon. Gideon was hired in 1918 to build a game lodge in the Black Hills and ended up staying. He was involved in the development of many of the roads and buildings both in the Black Hills and in Custer State Park. This tunnel is named in honor of the South Dakota historian Doane Robinson. He is credited with coming up with the idea of Mount Rushmore, so he's known as the father of Mount Rushmore. One of the things that's notable about this tunnel is that as you drive through it, you get a glimpse of Mount Rushmore. Not sure if you're going to be able to see it as we come out of the tunnel here, though, because we're driving into the sun.
Oh, there's Mount Rushmore. Oh.
Ooh, I got a little lightheaded. Those G's.
So now we're leaving the Black Hills and entering the Mount Rushmore National Monument area. The drive through the Black Hills is beautiful, and it's amazing how different it is from the Badlands, even though they're so close together. The last time we visited Mount Rushmore was over 20 years ago. I don't think they had this whole parking garage set up back then, or at least I don't remember it. They really weren't very crowded, even though it was Memorial Day. Probably a little more crowded later in the day, especially in the evening when they do the lighting ceremony, which is something we would like to come back and see. We took a hike down to the sculptor's studio for a short presentation down there, but we decided not to do the President's Loop since it was starting to rain. We did stop on our way out, though, and have some of the famous Thomas Jefferson's recipe vanilla ice cream, which was really good. Then it was time to get back on the road and head for Devil's Tower.
Climbing area. Wrinkled rock climbing area. The wrinkles make it easier to climb. We'll see what the weather's like this afternoon when we get over by Devil's Tower. If it's still really shitty, maybe we'll use your freehold, your $100 off a hotel room for tonight.
We stopped at Sick and Twisted Brewery in Hill City for lunch and then drove through the historic downtown area of Deadwood before making our way back to the highway so that we could jump over to Devil's Tower.
Oh, wow, sorts of flashing lights up here.
I see that. We got a semi. Cisco. Drop this vehicle beside you here.
He's turning. We passed a Cisco truck in the middle of the road.
Yeah, slow down, woman.
I got that.
Guess you got told.
I didn't even see her there at first.
Yeah, you're coming up close to your split in the road. 35-mile-an-hour speed limit, baby.
Okay.
Just saying.
Okay.
I do tend to have a little bit of a lead foot, but the weather the rest of the day was going to force me to slow down.
Oh, yeah. Just driving through the mist.
By this point, we were beginning to seriously consider getting a hotel for the night. We wanted to camp, but we didn't want to be miserable. The weather was predicted to continue with heavy rain, and the temperatures were supposed to drop into the 30s. So Tim started checking to see what was available in both Gillette and Casper so we could make a decision.
So I guess look to see, like, do from here to Devil's Tower and then Devil's Tower to Casper and see how long that is. It's 3:30 their time now.
Can you find one in Casper?
Yeah, that would be okay. Wyoming!
It's a pretty sign. Should have stopped back up in front of it.
Is the
Take a picture.
recorder still running? Speed limit 80 now.
Yeah, I don't like going 80. I usually lock it at about 70, 70.
That's what I've got it on, 70. Well, this says 68. That says 71 or 2. Look at that airplane.
Yellow one?
Mhm.
There's low flying. Not going very fast. Must be hitting the headwind.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Propellers are turning.
Yeah.
The drive from Deadwood to Devil's Tower is about an hour and a half in good weather, so it took us a little bit longer than that to get there. Once you're off the highway, there's a lot more curvy roads again. Not as curvy as in the Black Hills, but still in the rain, pretty curvy.
So it's got squiggly road line and then speed limit 65.
Right.
That makes me a little nervous.
Must have
It's not too squiggly.
good grippy road.
Yeah. Now it's going to change to 45.
The first glimpse of Devil's Tower, especially with all the fog and the rain, is actually a little bit startling.
It does just pop up there right out of nowhere.
Devil's Tower is a national monument just like Mount Rushmore. Before we left, we had purchased a national parks pass, which gets you into a lot of national parks and monuments. I believe it cost us $85, and it was well worth it by the end of our trip. It actually doesn't get you into Mount Rushmore, though. What you're actually paying for at Mount Rushmore is the parking, apparently. So in the previous video, I compared man-made sculptures to natural sculptures. The sculpture parks we visited to the beauty of the natural sculptures at the Black Hills. And I just realized that we sort of have the same thing going on today. The sculptures at Mount Rushmore, which are of course man-made, versus the natural sculpture here at Devil's Tower.
How tall is Devil's Tower? (867 feet from its base to the summit. It stands 1,267 feet above the Belfourche River and 5,112 feet above sea level. Looks like the Michigan City Cooling Tower.
Yeah. Same shape. Are pretty close. Scenic tower view. Next left. Road narrows. Okay. Well, we'll do that coming back down. Go all the way up to the top first. Ooh, there it is. Parking. Just a circle around. I like their benches.
It was about 4:30, and as you can see, not very crowded here either, although I'm sure here it is because of the weather. The main things to do here are to hike or to climb. We decided not to do either one. We were never going to climb. We had thought we would do some hiking though to get a little bit closer, but because of the weather, we decided not to.
So there's a trail that goes all around the base of it that I guess isn't too bad of a hike or anything.
It's raining.
No, well, yeah, I don't want to go do it. It's raining and it's cold.
48 degrees.
This little road goes back to a parking area for some trailheads, but it also gives a really good view of Devil's Tower. It's a pretty rough road to get back here though. We spent a little bit of time back here taking pictures and fixing a snack before we got back on the road for the long drive to Casper and the hotel we had reserved for the night. Thunder Basin, where we had planned to camp, was only about an hour west of here, but Casper was about 3 hours away. That was going to make for a long day.
If this is where I think it is, you just turned it.
Okay, there's a view.
You just turned up here to a trailhead.
Mm-hmm.
There's trailer parking at dead end road.
Huh.
Entering a ridge trail. Address of hotel.
Mm-hmm.
Where did we go? 400 W space F Street.
Casper, Wyoming.
Yep.
145 miles. Alrighty. It says that is 3 hours away from here. They're from Minnesota.
Minnesota. Eh? Hey, you stop here and I'll take a video of you driving around there. No, promise. Promise.
Oh, we still got miles to go, babe. I ain't turning back to come and get you.
Okay, never mind.
We were disappointed not to be camping at Thunder Basin's National Grasslands. We were really looking forward to our first night of boondocking on this trip. We wanted to enjoy ourselves and have fun on this trip, though, and anyone who has set up camp in the cold rain knows that isn't much fun. Still, we were a little sad not to be camping, but tomorrow night we would actually boondock in what we would consider to be an epic campsite. To get there, though, we would have to go through some weather even more extreme than what we went through today. I think it was worth it, though.